Hello, I'm Henry. I like history. Tonight's story begins with a peanut, which already feels suspicious. When most people hear the name George Washington Carver, they think of one thing: peanut butter. Which makes sense, but it's also wrong. George Washington Carver didn't invent peanut butter. What he did invent was a future, built on soil, science, and a quiet refusal to accept that things had to stay broken. And to understand why a man would look at a peanut and think, this could be paint, or soap, or maybe even gasoline, we need to start at the beginning. George Washington Carver was born enslaved in Missouri around 1864 near Diamond. As an infant, he was kidnapped along with his mother. He was later returned. His mother never was. Carver grew up small and often sick, unable to do the heavy field labor expected of him. So instead, he worked in kitchens and gardens. And in those gardens, something changed. He began paying attention to plants, how they grew, how they healed, how they responded to care. Neighbors started bringing him dying flowers and sick crops. They called him the plant doctor, which is a pretty serious title for someone who wasn't old enough to shave. After slavery ended, Carver was raised by the Carver family, who encouraged his curiosity. But education was hard to come by. There was no school nearby for a black child. So at 12 years old, Carver left home alone to find one. 12. Most 12-year-olds worry about chores. Carver was crossing state lines. Despite poverty and racism, he kept going, through high school in Kansas, then college in Iowa. In 1894, he earned a bachelor's degree in agriculture, becoming the first African American in the United States to do so. A few years later, he earned a master's degree and gained a reputation as an exceptional botanist. Iowa wanted him to stay, but the South needed him more. In 1896, Carver accepted an invitation to teach at the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. And Alabama, like much of the South, was in trouble. For decades, farmers had relied on a single crop: cotton. Cotton paid the bills. Cotton ruled everything. Cotton was king. And cotton was destroying the soil. Years of non-stop cotton farming stripped the land of nutrients. Then came the boll weevil, a tiny insect with an enormous appetite and terrible timing. Farmers, many of them formerly enslaved, were trapped, growing a crop that no longer worked. Carver looked at the land and said something radical. This soil isn't dead, it's just tired. His solution was crop rotation, specifically legumes, peanuts, soybeans, sweet potatoes. Peanuts returned nitrogen to the soil. They restored it, prepared it for the future. But Carver understood something crucial. Farmers wouldn't grow peanuts unless peanuts could pay. So he went to his lab, and he experimented. A lot. He broke peanuts down into oils, fats, sugars, and gums, and turned them into something new. Food products like peanut milk, coffee, caramel, mayonnaise, and chili sauce. Cosmetics like face powder, shampoo, and hand lotion. Industrial materials like dyes, paints, glue, rubber, plastics, axle grease, and even a form of gasoline. At this point, the peanut was doing more jobs than most people. Carver didn't keep this knowledge locked away. He brought it directly to the farmers. Using a mobile classroom known as the Jessup wagon, he traveled rural Alabama teaching farmers how to rotate crops, restore soil, and create value from what they grew. No lectures, no scolding, just practical help. Grow this, rotate that. Here's how you make peanuts worth your time. And it worked. Farmers escaped dependence on cotton. Soil recovered. New markets formed. Entire communities stabilized. All because someone refused to underestimate a humble crop. In 1921, Carver was invited to speak before Congress. He brought peanut products with him: paints, soaps, plastics, dyes. Congress planned to give him 10 minutes. They listened for over an hour. Carver never patented his discoveries. He believed knowledge was meant to be shared, not owned. George Washington Carver transformed agriculture in the South. He healed land. He empowered farmers. He created opportunity. Today, his birthplace is the first national monument honoring an African American, and that feels right. Because his legacy isn't really about peanuts. It's about seeing value where others see exhaustion, about restoring what's been depleted, about quiet brilliance that changes lives without asking for credit. History isn't always about empires or battles. Sometimes it's about soil. Sometimes it's about patience. And sometimes it's about a peanut. Thank you for staying with me tonight and for letting the story be told. I'm Henry. I'll see you next time.